So, hi everyone. So, today we will have a whole body focusing, kind of covering different parts of the body class. It's going to take probably about 1 hour and 15 minutes. And we'll begin with a few warm ups and centering practices to bring the mind also to hear, to feel more of the body. And then we'll move with some standing postures, and then at the end finish with maybe 10 minutes or so shavasana, final relaxation. As we begin, we're just going to take a few moments, as I said earlier, to bring our overstimulated minds to feel the body. A lot of times mind is somewhere else and it's not exactly feeling what's happening in the body. So we're just gonna work with this one. And I'm sitting on top of a block, yoga block, or if you have anything else that can help you to have your hips a bit elevated from the ground. And then I have also a blanket on top so that you can have the spine upright in its natural curves, but as much as possible with ease when you are kind of sitting like this. Your knees also can be bent, an alternative to cross-legged. Just the idea is to have a comfortable position, having the spine upright. That's kind of the number one thing, so that the breath can come fully. As I mean, these days everybody's focusing on really the lungs and then breathing better, because we really understand the value of breathing with ease. A lot of times we just take it for granted. So we're just going to do this. But before, for the mind part itself, you can just bring one hand to the back, to your neck, and then here give a squeeze to your neck. This I like to call it almost like the highway to the brain stem, where we tend to hold a lot of stress, or like the first point in the body that gets activated. And a lot of times it's really unconscious, subconscious level. We don't know what's going on. So we're just kind of loosening, relaxing this highway as we're squeezing. So I'm opening when I inhale the hands, the fingers, and then exhaling, squeezing it a little bit. Just do that a few more times. Relaxing the neck. And then slowly releasing that squeeze of the neck, but bring your hand to the kind of corner of your neck and shoulder. And then release that. Just take a moment to feel. There could be a lot of sensations. Now, finally, mine is just like feeling, oh, wow, that was good. Or maybe whatever kind of your experience of just being more aware of the body. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other side of the neck. So I'm just taking my hand again to my neck and squeezing, exhaling, releasing. Squeezing a couple of more times to really kind of let go of any tension, tightness. It just helps to do this kind of a self-massage, self-applied massage. And then slowly just coming into this corner of the neck and shoulder, squeezing there, also fingers more like on the back. And then slowly release. Now just bring your shoulder to your ears, and you turning your head side to side a little bit, and shoulders are really kind of tight, close to the ears. And then slowly roll the shoulders maybe 1 or 2 times. And then release. Now coming into a little bit more of like stillness. You can close your eyes. And then check inside how it feels. Notice any difference that may have happened in your shoulders, on your neck. There could be a sense of kind of things are getting lighter in that part of the body, or there could be a sense of tingling, maybe warmth, maybe coolness, as we start to activate the muscles, the connective tissue in that part of the body. And now as this awareness of the body increases, take a moment to now connect with the breath. And to help with that, you can bring one hand into the belly, one hand into the chest area. If it's easy for you to feel the breath as you start to intentionally deepen it, you don't need to bring your hands, but otherwise it just makes it easier, so that you're just focusing now what happens when you breathe in. And then when you exhale. And this breath is not just like our usual breath, so we're intentionally deepening it, taking it all the way down if possible. And then exhaling. With the inhalations, feeling the belly really expanding. And then as you exhale, this time contracting the belly. So this is intentional. We're kind of pushing the air out, 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 and then taking in again. And then exhaling. A couple of more like that, deep, nice breaths. This is really helping the diaphragm also move, this kind of intentional breaths. And around the diaphragm, there are a lot of nerve endings, which supports the nervous system, also relaxing, a little bit kind of calming. And also definitely it increases this awareness of the body, helps the mind to settle here and now, instead of going out, kind of being always like externally oriented. Two more deep, nice, intentional breaths, knowing the in-breath, knowing the out-breath. And slowly release this intentionality of the breath. But at least, I mean, all through the practice, have a sense of steady, smooth breaths, not just like shallow, focusing on the chest, but as much as possible deeper, going down towards the belly. So as we start to move, bring your hands by your side. Inhale, take the arms up all the way, and then bring the palms to touch. As you exhale, bring the hands through the center. As you bring them towards the chest level, push your palms away from you. Interlace the hands, push the palms away, round the spine. Inhale, reach forward with the chest. And as you exhale, release the hands. And all through the movement, it's very active. It's not just like random fast movement, but inhaling and then feeling the stretch of the arms, moving slowly, reaching up, exhaling, releasing, and then pushing the palms away, rounding the spine, drawing the belly in. Inhaling, reaching up, feeling the extension and stretch, almost like outer parts of the arms. And then exhale. We're going to do the same thing one more time. Inhaling, reaching up with the hands. Exhaling, releasing. And then pushing the palms away, rounding the spine, drawing the belly in, and then inhaling. Just reaching forward with the chest, stretching the outer edges of your arms. And then from here, this time, we're just gonna change the movement. So bring your hands into just cactus. We're not changing into more like a little bit of spinal twist. So here, inhale. And as you exhale, turn a little bit out towards one side, back to center. And then exhale to the other side. Just a few rounds of like this and feel which part of the spine is twisting here. We're starting a little bit more with the kind of upper part of the spine. One more time to each side, twisting and then twisting again. And then as you exhale, this time release the hands and then bring the right hand to your left knee. Left hand is at the back. And notice we are again in a twisting position. You can gaze over the left shoulder. I'm turning towards my left. And I feel the twist now has moved into more like lower belly or back also of the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. And with your next inhalation, turn yourself back to center and then taking the left hand to your right knee. Again, noticing the twist on this side. Inhaling and exhaling. And now slowly release, bring yourself again back to the center. And just for also the side body stretches. So take the arms up towards the sky. And then from there, drop one hand down. Feel both sit bones still kind of equally weighted down. but feel as it more like a stretch of the side body. We're working, actually this is also for definitely affecting the spine. 6 movements of the spine. We're doing extensions, flexions, stretches, twists. You can also do something with your hand here if you want to help the wrist and fingers also to stretch a little bit or kind of move, start to get active. And then inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, and then the other way. Again, feeling the stretch on the other side of the body and then doing something with the hands. This is completely optional. It's just like helps to wake up the wrist and the fingers. And then as you exhale, slowly release. And now we're gonna move on to tabletop position. For this one, if you have a blanket or a big towel or something under your knees, feel free to use that. Otherwise, you don't need it. Especially if you have any knee sensitivities, it would be good to have this kind of a support. Otherwise, you won't need it. And just taking here a bit more, maybe now the spine is kind of really lengthening position, just a few cat-cow tilts. Inhaling, gazing up, exhaling, rounding the spine, tailbone down. 2 more, inhale, gaze up, full extension of the front of the spine. Exhale, rounding. And then 1 more time, inhale, exhale. And now coming into a neutral position. And then from this position, we're going to start to activate different parts of the body, starting with the now moving into the lower body, feeling the legs and also slowly the core. So extend your right leg back, and then you're going to feel, curl the toes under. You will start to feel the calf muscles, lower back of the lower legs, stretching here. You can even like play by just moving your foot a little bit front and then back. The heel is just moving. And then stay here when your heel is really pushing back. So you can have, you can feel the stretch behind the leg. Mostly lower leg, maybe even higher. And then here, so far it was just kind of focusing on the leg. But if you want to add the core element here, slowly feel your hands, and as you're pressing your hands firmly down, pushing your right heel back, lift your left knee up, and then extend the leg and bend it. Again, maybe tap it even down, or just bend and straighten. So you will find yourself in one-legged plank, and then your core might be shouting at you. And then here, stay here for 1 more round. Feel all the engagement and action now that start to happen in different parts of the body. And then slowly straighten your left leg up to the sky. Coming into a 3-legged dog for a moment. And then as you exhale, gaze forward and then step forward with your left foot. Coming into a lunge here. I'm just gonna move the blankets back. And here you can always use blocks if you have handy blocks, or maybe books. Yoga blocks are always helpful. And then here, just a moment to feel again, the calf muscle is still stretching behind the leg, and then drop the knee. So right knee is on the ground. You can release your foot, or maybe it can continue to be tucked under, and then lift yourself. As you come here, notice the change. Now the stretch is moving to the front of the right leg. Maybe here taking a few moments to sink down with the hips, kind of increasing the stretch, but also while you are coming slightly down, you can continue to draw your inner legs together. At the same time, perineum is active. And if things are feeling good, when you kind of go down, things are feeling all right, stable, you can add your arms, maybe reaching up. We're just moving with the pelvis a little bit. It's a small movement, but it may feel quite strong in front of your right leg, so be careful. And during this practice, anything that doesn't feel right for you, please listen to your own body, not me. And then do this 1 more time. And stay here, maybe hips are sinking, arms are reaching, or your arms can be also in cactus position, or maybe just in your hips, depending on your energy level. You decide wherever you would like to have. Breathing in, breathing out. And then slowly we will transition now from the lunge into hamstring stretch. Again, if you have blocks, I'm just going to use for the blocks for this one. Hamstrings are tight for many of us. And if you're using the blocks, it can be even the highest position, so you can draw them a little bit back. Keep reaching forward with the chest, so you'll be able to stretch in addition to the back of the leg. The spine is also elongated. You can play with the position of the foot, maybe side to side, or coming close to the ground and then lifting. And then slowly we're going to come back into the lunge again. And in the lunges in general, make sure that you have this alignment of ankle and knee more or less vertical to each other. Don't let your knee to go too far to the front. That's going to put too much pressure on the knee. So avoid that if possible. So bring your right hand inside of your foot, lift the right knee, coming into a twisting lunge or lunge twist. Here again, remember to keep drawing your legs close towards each other. Breathing in, breathing out. As you exhale, slowly release. Bring your left hand to outside of your foot. Again, adjusting the position to bring your leg into downward facing dog. As you lift the hips up towards the sky, feeling the stretch behind the legs, and also check in for the differences in the sensations. All your left side, from your ankles, knees, hip joint, things may be feeling slightly different. And then slowly coming back again down to tabletop position. And we're gonna do the same thing, focusing more on the core engagement, now with the left side. So extend the left leg, feel the calf stretch. And this side may feel kind of easier because we have worked a little bit on this side. And now to shift again, the focus more to the core, press your hands really almost like you're pushing the floor away. And when you are ready, as you press the heel, lift the knee. And then moving here for a few rounds, maybe bending, maybe even tapping the knee if you want to, or just straightening and then bending and then feeling what's happening. What is it? Which part of the body that you need to really engage to hold this? And then slowly now extend the leg again up all the way to the sky, coming into a three-legged downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. And very slowly gazing forward and then stepping forward, coming into a lunge on this side. Feeling again, taking a moment to feel the change. Now this time we're moving into the front of the left foot and then dropping the knee. Couple of rounds again to help the front of the left leg to stretch. Hands on hips or cactus or reaching up high or just here. Couple of rounds of sinking down, maybe letting the pelvis a little bit go downward. But it's not just like random movement. Core is engaged, inner legs are active. So it's very kind of attentive stretch that we are slowly doing. This part of the front of the legs is an area that we don't use, especially if you are sitting for too long during the day. So it's good to have these kind of slow, intentional stretches a few times actually, like any time in the day, at least do this at least one time. If you have like a sitting position that you're holding for a long time. And then at the end, maybe taking the arms up if you want, as we're holding here for a few breaths. Helping the hip flexors to extend because they get really short because of sitting for too long. And then as you exhale, slowly release and now transition into hamstring stretch and saying hi to hamstrings on this side. And notice sometimes there could be a difference between one side and then the other. Position of the foot again, play with it maybe, move side to side. You may notice the different fibers of the muscle gets activated. Or if you want to keep it close to the ground, that's perfectly fine too. Just finding your edge, kind of pushing it a little bit, not too far, I'm going to like pain territory. If there is any pain anywhere, avoid that. And then slowly bend the knee again. And then we're going to again do the lunge twist. So bring the left hand inside, move your foot a little bit if you want, and then opening out. Breathing in, breathing out. Deep, nice breaths and feeling, again, different parts of the body are actively holding you here. As you exhale, slowly release, bring your right foot out, right hand outside, and then coming into downward facing dog. And before we come to the front, again, take a moment to check in if things are feeling a little bit more equal for your legs, for all the joints in your legs. And then slowly start to walk yourself towards your hands. I'm just gonna turn this side. And as you come here, keep about like 2 fist distance apart space between your feet. That's gonna be more or less your like hip width apart distance. You can grab your opposite elbow with the opposite hand and shake your head loose. Side to side, front and back. And then gradually from here, open the arms out to the side. Feel your strong feet, feel this sense of kind of rootedness, and then have your core, and then from there, as you press down, lift yourself up. Coming into standing position, take your hands again, interlace the fingers, and then side bend here. Moving to one side, out to this side, and then to the other side. And as you exhale, slowly release your hands. And as we just kind of change this position, be aware like what is happening, what has changed now. And then start to just come into, again, something for the spine and to integrate everything. Coming into this arms swaying side to side. Every time when you go to the opposite side, you can lift your opposite heel. So it's turning, making it easy. You can do this without using your foot as well. For some people, they want to focus more on kind of upper body rotation, then you can do it just this way. That's fine too. But for a lot of us to have a little bit of a stretch for the low back, again, in case if you're sitting for too long, it would be good to have that area also stretching in a nice way without kind of putting too much pressure. You can go really fast in this one or maybe slower. And slowing it down. And we're just gonna do one more thing here. Now you will feel your arms are kind of still willing to move. So just do a few more of those. So open the arms up, wrap them almost like around your legs. One last time. And then release. And just come into stillness. Feel the sensations. There could be a lot of tingling happening. Just being aware, like everything may be active in the body, different energies, this sense of standing, maybe energy is kind of feeling very different. And the points that we tap or slap with our hands are for some internal organs from the Qigong perspective, which I tend to include in some of the classes. And it's good to do this kind of a move, and I kind of really like it to just add it at the end. It's just like kind of a childlike or playful move, and just feels good. After all this kind of energizing warm-ups and beginning, let's say, we're gonna go with standing postures. And then let's begin. I'm just gonna turn to the side again, but for you, just come into the front edge of your mat. As you inhale, reach up high. As you exhale, fold forward. Maybe bring the hands onto the ground or onto the shin bones. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, bring the hands on either side of your foot, coming into downward facing dog. And here in downward facing dog, again, sit bones are really pushing up, feeling an extension behind the legs. And slowly, as you inhale, gaze forward and then step forward with your right foot. Coming into the lunge, high lunge, so left heel is lifted. Just find a moment to, again, have this, legs are very active. As much as possible, have your feet in parallel position, so they're kind of railroad tracks. so that this standing is going to be stable. Otherwise, if your feet are on the same line, it's going to be a bit tricky to hold. It's going to be too wobbly. And here, if you like, again, arms can find an expression as you wish. Maybe reaching up, maybe cactus, maybe just your hips, wherever you are today. Inhaling, exhale. And then slowly, we're going to shift into other things. Now bring your hands wherever your arms were. Bring your hands at the back. And as we are slowly shifting into something else, again, which is going to focus mostly on the front leg. We're going to shift the weight on to front leg. Slowly start to bring your back foot closer and then take your arms back. Very actively, interlaced hands, your hands and arms are reaching back. And then here, you can slowly straighten the leg, lift it up. Arms are reaching back, leg is reaching back, heel is active. You're almost maybe like back leg is parallel, maybe not. You can either stay with your arms like this or maybe open the hands out in a T, in a variation of warrior tree. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling the sensations. Engage your glute, outer glute for the right leg, especially as the heel is lifting back. And then very slowly bring the hands back onto the hips and then step forward. Coming into, again, standing Tadasana. And then as you come to Tadasana, just take a moment to bring your hands maybe into the hips, into the hands, hands into the chest. And then just feel, there could be, again, checking this right and left difference. There could be a lot of sensations on the one side. And now for the other side, again, coming to the front edge of the mat, same thing. Inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, fold forward, hands to the ground or maybe onto the shin bones. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, knees bent, and then step back with your feet coming into, again, downward facing human being. Breathing in, breathing out. And this time stepping forward with the left foot. We're going to start again, same thing, first high lunge or warrior one variation, and then slowly move into warrior three. So your hands again, optional wherever you want, but making sure that you have this sense of back foot pushing back, front foot is really firmly grounded there, and the body is in this shape of taking the strength from the earth to lift up. And sometimes when you have this energetic connection of like rooting down to rise up, arms will be very easy kind of to lift up, but sometimes it's gonna be like, oh, that's just like impossible for me to lift my arms today. So just bring them onto the hips. Wherever you are, just honoring, that's like the key thing to maintain our inner peace too, because otherwise we kind of make it like too much work for ourselves and then we don't do the practice at all because it doesn't feel good. And then slowly bring your hands again at the back, interlace the fingers, and prepare to slowly lift yourself or shift maybe to the front a little bit, and then gradually coming on to your front leg as you push the right heel back. And there could be a sense of wobbliness here. That's perfectly fine, no need to judge. Maybe opening the arms again when you feel ready. Feeling the leg getting very active, engaging the glutes to really hold you here. And as you exhale, this time we're just going to go back to the lunge as a change. As you bring the foot back, bring the hands down. And back to downward facing dog just for a moment, and then we'll do a back bend here. Exhaling to the plank, and then all the way down. As you come down, bring the chest down. And your hands are alongside the torso to the chest, but have your hands open out to the side. So it's going to be a bit wide stance cobra. Feel your pubic bone area really pressing down. So that's going to be your anchor. Your hands are on your side. Inhale as you press your pubic bone down. Exhale, turn your gaze to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. One more time. Center. Inhaling, just lifting a little bit. Your hands are really, fingers really pressing down. And then the other side. And then slowly as you exhale, release everything back to the center. Hands just next to your chest. Tuck the toes under and take a moment, just maybe for a few breaths. Stay in child pose. Breathing in and out. Allowing the low back to extend as a counter pose after the back bend. A lot of times we put a bit like too much pressure or the low back area gets compressed. So extending that again. And then slowly lift yourself up, tabletop, and then downward facing dog again. Gradually, we're gonna come to the front. So slowly start to walk yourself towards the front. And then here, staying this time, we're gonna lift up through Utkatasana, chair pose. And gradually, I'm just gonna turn to the side. So feel your knees not really passing too much to the front. So keep them back a little bit. So you're gonna be almost like shifting most of your weight onto your heels. And then from here, reaching forward with the hands if you like. Or maybe hands on your elbows, opposite elbows. Feeling your feet, feeling your core actively, and feel a sense of chest is still kind of, and arms lifting away from the thighs. This is gonna feel quite a lot of work for the legs, but it's good to have this kind of engagement, again, to keep the legs active. As they say, sitting too much is kind of worse than smoking. So really engaging our legs. And then slowly take your arms up, reach up high. One more time, interlace the hands, and then come into a side bend. Back to center, the other side. And if that really felt good, do it one more time. Again, go as you wish. And then the other side. Back to center, and then slowly release. This time, just bring one hand into the belly, one hand into the chest. And take a moment to connect with your experience right now. Maybe you can compare again, like at the very beginning, the time when you were trying to connect, trying to get kind of centered, how the attention was, how the awareness of the body was, versus right now. And if things are still feeling kind of disconnected, you can just bring the attention specifically to the soles of your feet and the sensations under your hands. Just connect with the body. There's just so much intelligence happening in our bodies. So just befriending ourselves with our one and only precious one. Breathing in, breathing out. And slowly release your hands. And now we're gonna do a few more of those standing postures. Come to the almost like center of the long edge of the mat. And if you wanna go more like Iyengar style, jump or stepping maybe one foot and then the other one. First, finding your feet parallel. And then as we slowly transition into warrior two, turn your right foot out and have your foot in a way that's going to be parallel to the long edge of the mat. Back foot is turned in maybe 20, 30 degrees. And for many people, having the alignment of the front heel with the arch of the back foot would be the ideal. But for some people, it may be heel to heel. So make sure that things are working for your, especially the pelvis. And in this one, compared to the warrior one and high lunge, where we're turning all the way to the side, we're just turning partially. So that's the position of the pelvis. We're facing more or less towards the corner, short corner of the front side of the mat. And then here, bring the hands just into the shoulder height. Take one breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knee as you come into warrior two. And staying here for a few breaths. If you want, you can do something with the arms. maybe, let's see, let's just like flex the fingers. So feel mostly lower part of the arms working. And then this time it's going to be upper part. And all these arms, there are, from the Qigong or traditional Chinese medicine perspective, there are a lot of meridians around the arms, chest and arms area, from lungs to heart and many kind of key internal organs. So it's good to do something with the arms. Just like anything that you can do. And these are also going to be helpful, definitely for biceps and triceps also. But you're really holding, as you can see, arms are active. It's not just like here. So here, do that one more time. And then now stay here, feel maybe there is a bit of a fatigue happening. And notice any inner kind of resistance to that. Stay there, feel the middle part of your upper back, really working kind of shoulder blade area, rhomboids. Really, these are strengthening your spinal stabilizers to help you to stay upright. Maybe you're wondering when I'm gonna stop talking. And then when you're ready, slowly drop your backhand down and feel the ease with that arm, and the other one is still there, and you may be like, ah, and then turn it around. Gaze towards your palm as the palm is facing towards your face. Sink down a little bit more, maybe with your bent knee. Feeling, maybe the arms are finally stretching. You can take your backhand here if you like, maybe if it feels good, wrap it around on the side, and then slowly start to straighten. Extend your right hand up to the sky, and then start to reach forward. Reach, 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 reach. And whenever you cannot go anymore, you can drop your hand and then turn the torso. You're gonna find yourself somewhere on the same plane with your thigh. And you can turn as much as possible. You can also take your arm out. Your hand can still be at the back, but have a sense of your shoulder rotating, rolling, so that you can keep it open if you want to have it reaching up. Or maybe at the back, sometimes it makes it easier. Feeling your feet very actively pressing down. And again, that pressing down is almost like making things easier for the upper body. And let's say the pressure between your feet is so-called like isometric pressure. They're trying to almost like tear apart the mat. It's not happening. But at the same time, there is this engagement that you're really pressing down, and almost like your feet is kind of trying to go away from each other. It's not happening, but that's the action. That gives engagement to your whole legs, and then your torso can be a little bit more kind of stay upright like this with ease. And then slowly from here, lift yourself up for a moment. We're gonna turn, and now shift your back foot. So turn yourself into a lunge, and we're gonna come one more twisting lunge, but knee down version. So when you are ready, take your hand just outside of the knee, and then open your back hand towards the back as you're rotating. Another option could be for this one, you can make a fist with your hands and then take the elbow outside. And if you do so, you can also lift the knee as well. Or otherwise, knees down and then hand is outside. They both equally valid positions with slight engagements, maybe kind of different engagements, but otherwise twist is the same twist. That's gonna really help mobilize things in your intestines. Inhale and exhale. As you exhale this time, turn yourself down, hands onto the ground, and then lift the knee, take the leg back into downward facing dog. And then gradually this time, just stepping forward or walking yourself towards the front. Just stay here and inhale, lengthen, extend the spine. Exhale, slowly, just simply coming up this time, opening the hands out, reaching up. And this time, just have your index fingers reaching up. We're gonna do again side bends. And then one side, and then the other. Slowly from here, from the center, release everything. Again, just take a moment to again feel the sense of connection. As we kind of work with like increasing the energy in different parts of the body, again, one side may be feeling even kind of more energized, more active. And when it feels more energized, I mean, it may be sometimes more actually lighter because things are flowing with ease. That's the effect. Exhaling, slowly releasing, and then same thing again with the warrior two for the other side. Finding the front, the middle of the long edge again, and then finding the position for warrior two, the other side. So whichever side you did, turning this time, I'm doing my left side. You may have done the other way around, but doesn't matter. Just the same sequence we're gonna be doing. Again, finding the position, and then slowly opening the arms and then bending the knee. And when you bend the knee also, in warrior two especially, it becomes very clear, have the kneecap facing second and third toe as much as possible so that it's going to be easier again for the knee joint. And this time for the hand position, just circle your wrists one way and now we will change. Keep your arms really more or less like at shoulder height so that you're also engaging kind of the shoulder related muscles, biceps, triceps. And now reverse the circle with your wrists. Notice maybe things are being really felt in a big way in your arms. Just be aware. We're going to slowly come into a stillness here. And now straighten your arms, hold it there, and feel the sensations, especially again, the middle part, just rhomboids. These are good things to do, you know, for the spinal stabilizers. They are getting strong, your belly is engaged, you're pressing outer edge of the back foot down. And breathing. Feeling, breathing, allowing, just noticing. Maybe again, this inner conversation is getting like, oh, I cannot stand this, or oh, this is getting too much. Just be aware. Being this or developing this capacity to observe everything is really the key in yoga. Instead of reacting, jumping immediately, developing this capacity to be just a witness. And then slowly, as you drop your right hand at the back, feeling the ease, and then turning the other hand, gazing this time again towards your palm, feeling the stretch on the side body. And then gradually we will transition now into, again, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Straighten the arm. This hand can come back again if you want to. And then start to reach to the side, imagining almost like you're reaching towards or over a table. Reach, 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 and then drop the hand. Your hand doesn't need to come all the way down to the ground. One option could be also using a block inside or outside of your foot. It's all fine. But finding again the same engagement in your legs. This may look kind of a simple pose, but if you find the right engagement, it's a lot of work. And sometimes many people would like to bring their hand down to the ground, but if you bring the hand down, you're gonna be losing this engagement in the core. So to maintain that and have everything kind of working in a big way, it's better if the hand doesn't go down, but we just maintain this alignment of the torso as much as possible over the thigh. Again, the back hand can go up as well if you wish. And gradually we will prepare to lift up. Take a moment to stay here and then turning into knee down or maybe knee up, lunge twist. So adjust the position of back foot and then drop your right knee down. And then you choose again if you want to do just hand outside or maybe elbow outside. In the hand outside version is also quite effective. For some people it may feel like, oh, this is the easy one. It's not actually. Because in this one also there is this isometric engagement between the knee and hand. They're kind of pushing each other away. So that activates also the inner legs and all this rotation from the belly. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing, holding, staying with the sensations, staying with the pose. And now slowly release again. Bring your hands on either side. And then tuck the toes for the right foot. Take the leg back into downward facing dog. And this time we're gonna do again, slowly coming down, maybe taking a moment in the plank pose, and then knees down, chest down all the way. And as you come to the ground, again, finding this pubic bone area, that's the anchor we would like to feel when we go down. And as much as possible, we're aiming to keep low back extended. A lot of times we try to lift ourselves up too much and then there's just like unnecessary compression there. So as much as possible, maintaining length in that part of the body. And for the shoulders also, we try to keep them away from the ears when we come to the pose. So let's do shavasana. So bring your hands alongside the torso. Feel your hands reaching back. So that's gonna help the shoulders stay away from the ears. Front of your feet is pressing down. And slowly, when you inhale, start to lift the chest, lift the head. So your chest is kind of reaching forward, but shoulders are back. When you're ready, you can add your hands so they're lifted. And you're still breathing. You can add your legs when you feel ready again. Staying here as much as possible, having again this middle part of your upper back do the work. And that part also is just like good to have, very engaged and kind of in good position, because we tend to slouch a lot. And when you are ready, you can take your hands, maybe interlace the fingers, again, lift up a little bit more. Inhaling one more breath and lifting even more. And then exhaling slowly, turning your head onto one side, dropping everything down. And feeling the breath here. Allowing the breath to be felt in a big way. And slowly turning, lifting into child pose, but stay in, just lying down. Feel almost like rib cage expanding and contracting in a big way. Finding this almost like as an opportunity to reconnect with the breath again. Oh, my precious breath. You can turn your head to the opposite side. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling the breath in a big way. And then sensing all this relaxation, almost like rippling out from the heart area where you may be feeling kind of strong pulsations spreading through the whole body. And gradually bring your hands under, just next to your chest, and then slowly roll yourself into a child pose. As you come into the child pose, you decide if you want to have your knees closed or maybe wide open, whichever again feels right for you, for your own position today. You may be doing different things at different days. And for your arms also, check in if it's going to feel good. Maybe just stay very passive and kind of drop everything. Or maybe you want to keep stretching. So you may even bring your hands into fingertips. And you may also do kind of just like side stretches even more. So you can take your hands to one side, center, and then the other side. So you can take your time to do that. And one other option, which I forgot, I think, your hands can also reach back to. That's going to be also just like a very passive version. Allowing things to just settle again in a way as a counterbalance for the back bend, extending the low back as much as possible. Just taking a few more moments there. Breathing in, breathing out. And slowly, when you are ready, lifting out of child pose. Swing your legs to the side. And we're gonna do just one more core before we finish and come down for shavasana and maybe a few other things. For this one, it would be good to find something to have between your hands. I'm gonna use one of the blocks, but if you don't have a block, it can be any cushion or towel or anything that you may have handy. So just get that. It's just helps with the focus or engagement for the arms. If you don't have anything, it feels a bit more kind of arms are not that active, but when we have something between the hands, it helps the arms also to stay really engaged. And we're gonna, maybe I'll turn this way. So to begin, your heels are on the ground. You're sitting on the outer edges of the sit bones. So you can almost like feel the bony parts. And you're just gonna be getting a little bit to the back edge of the sit bones. There is like a kind of a triangle there. So you're gonna be at the kind of back end, back side of the sit bones. And to begin with, both heels are on the ground. And as we slowly start to move, your hands are reaching forward. You're kind of pressing the block between your hands or whatever you have between your hands, and inhale here. And as you exhale, turn your hands towards one side and extend the opposite leg straight. And then back to the center. And then turning to the other side, extending the other leg straight. And for this one, we'll keep moving like that a few times. Your heels can also be lifted up off the ground as well. So it's going to be more like both variation. And you're extending one leg at a time while you're turning. So it's both a twist and core, so it's mostly for the obliques. And then extending. Do that one more time to each side. And then slowly come to the center. Maybe if your heels were down, maybe lift them up, reach to the front. Maybe even you can take your hands up towards the sky. And then slowly, as you exhale, release everything. And just take a moment to just feel this slow kind of change, transition. Make it slow and be aware. Now bring your hands at the back. And then just to open the front of the legs in case the hip flexors were a bit kind of too engaged in the previous pose. Press your feet down. Your hands are on your back. Maybe fingers are facing towards the hips. If for any reason this doesn't feel right, your hands can also turn back. And then slowly, as you press your feet down, lift yourself up. Coming into reverse table. So I'm just gonna turn this way. And just staying here if you like. You can also play with by extending one leg and then the other one. Or maybe both legs if you want to extend. Or just staying here, stretching a little bit front of the legs. Your triceps are quite working here. And then as you exhale, slowly release the hips down. And then from here, we're gonna come down now. So when you are ready, get hold of the back of the legs and then slowly bring yourself down. And as the knees come towards the chest, feel now this sense of kind of change completely. Your back is on the ground. And take a few moments now just to simply circle the knees. Hands on the kneecaps, circling one way. And then the other way. And slowly drop your feet down. And we're going to do a bridge pose. And in this one, again, however you wish, it can be active or more passive. For the passive version, you can just use a yoga block. So your feet is close to your hips. Your hands may almost like fingertips may touch to your heels. And then when you are ready, pressing your feet down, your shoulders are down, slowly lifting the hips up. And if you want to go for the passive version where you will have just a block, I'm using the middle height. You may use even lower height. Don't go for the highest position for the block. And then here, just staying, feeling the stretch happening in front of the thighs. Again, just help them undo in case if there was like too much compression or engagement in previous poses. And maybe releasing one leg so your leg can continue to be just kind of stretching in a deeper way. Whole psoas is stretching in this way. And if you want to do more active version, of course, you won't use a block, but just your hands underneath, scooping the shoulders a little bit and keep lifting the pelvis as you're opening the front, stretching. I'm just going to go back to the passive version and now stretching the other side. So whichever option again feels right for you, depending on your energy level. Sometimes maybe, for example, in the mornings, you may like to do more active classes. Or maybe if it's an evening practice, you can go more kind of softer versions instead of just getting energized. Maybe energizing, yes, but overall slowing down also is good for evening classes. So taking time to do that. And gradually switching, shifting, whichever option you chose, as you slowly bring the spine, upper spine, middle spine, and then lower back, all the way down. Feeling entire back of the torso really on the ground, having this sense of, maybe take a big breath in and sigh it out. And just a few rounds of kind of twisting, stretching combination. So have your feet this time more like mat width apart and knees bent. Your hands are grabbing opposite elbow and hands are facing towards, arms facing towards the ceiling. Inhaling here at the center. And as you exhale, drop the knees to one side, elbows go to the opposite side, and your head is facing also towards the knees. Just move, staying here maybe for one breath. And then back to center, and then exhaling to the opposite side. This is something you can do on a moving basis as well, if it feels good. Or just doing kind of the same thing, but staying more like stationary on one side. And if you want to do it just like moving, sometimes like moving a few times and then just staying still may also feel good. So whichever option you're choosing, staying maybe, and if you want to do the more like still version, just feeling the sensations again, different parts of the body stretching. There is this diagonal stretch, again, things are moving in opposite directions, just being aware of those. Doing the same thing for the other side. Again, being aware of like what is happening in the body right now. Is there anything coming from the body? Any message, any guidance? Or having this sense of connection with the body is just so helpful. Because the mind is always overstimulated. Everything kind of external gets so kind of entertaining and then wants to go anywhere, like monkey, they say, monkey mind. While the body is just here, still doing things as it should be. Kind of cool and nice, stable relatively. So it's just good to have that sense of connection with the body on and off, many times ideally during the day. Slowly bring yourself back to center. And now one final thing I'm going to suggest, and you can do also your own version and anything that your body would like to do. And this is going to be butterfly. So your knees are opening out to the sides, hands are interlaced, elbows are also opening out to the side. So taking a few breaths here to really feel things now cooling down, changing. As we have almost like moved through a journey, Starting slow, but then things heat up and then we again slow down. As like many things in life, things keep changing. And we're just moving with that flow as much as possible. But with awareness, with really knowing like what is happening right now. Because a lot of times that's another thing that tends to happen. We live in autopilot and we have no idea like what's happening. We're just like being pushed around. But through the practice, we're trying to develop this capacity to be aware of like, this is what's happening, I'm aware. And gradually, I'm just changing to lift myself up, but you do whatever else you would like to do to slowly transition into shavasana, final relaxation pose. And shavasana is also sometimes said as like the dessert of the practice. So I hope you're going to take it that way. And sometimes people would like to rush it out and kind of move out. But that's like really the best part. And the reason for that, actually, for our kind of Western minds, like, why are we exactly doing this? The idea is to really integrate the practice. And it takes sometimes for the body, as it's slow, as we know, to really get what happened exactly. So we're giving this opportunity to ourselves, to our nervous system, to feel, oh, that is okay. Like things, my experience right now is good. And let me just enjoy this. That's more or less what we're kind of doing. And slowly coming into Shavasana, if you're not there already. And as you come lying down, your knees can also be bent if you wish. Taking a moment first to turn your head side to side, and do that slowly, turning the head to one side and then the other. And do that one more time. Notice that you have the full option of like however you would like to move your head, you can do that. And at the end, bring your face facing up towards the sky, the ceiling. But have your neck long, chin can be slightly tilted towards the chest. You may feel a little bit of a stretch on the sides of your neck. These are all good kind of relaxation triggering stretches. For your hands, let them be open about like 45-degree angled. Same for your legs as well. You can bring maybe shoulder blades at the back a little bit closer towards each other so that hands are going to be facing up towards the ceiling. And as much as possible, have a sense of equidistant space for your hands and for your feet from the center, the base, the spine, kind of reaching out a little bit to the sides, equidistant on each side. And gradually feel all the points of the body touching to the ground. Feel, starting with the maybe heels, back of the feet, legs, any parts, maybe buttocks, back of the torso, and your hands, maybe parts of the hands or maybe elbows and upper arms, back of the head. Let them be really heavy. And drop yourself down even more, almost like letting go of any grasping, holding. So as you kind of loosen yourself up, feeling a little bit more heavy, and notice the support of the earth, almost like feeling the support of the earth, Mother Earth, holding you. And relax your facial muscles, especially muscles around the eyes, so let the eye sockets drop down at the back. Your mouth is soft, tongue is, base of the tongue especially, just simply so soft. You're letting your tongue to spread in your mouth. Jaw is unclenched. Maybe your mouth is opening slightly. And here, like all the work is done, nothing to do in this moment. You may be feeling again just the sensations, maybe energy again flowing in the body. And be aware of those. Notice any kind of tingling, maybe some moving happening. And be curious really what's happening inside. Letting the energies to integrate and find any place in the body that may need some attention, some help in this moment. Let the energy go and find that. It is intelligent, it will know where to go. So you just follow. Attention may come and go, maybe to the breath in and out, it's okay. And there could be also a wider sense of awareness of maybe kind of the edges of your physical body may feel softer. And you may be also just feeling even wider kind of spacious awareness as you rest in this afterglow of your practice, maybe feeling who you are in the absence of kind of doing, in the absence of struggles or kind of things to do basically, but just feeling this moment as is with all the sensations. Again, if there are thoughts, that's fine too, but just being aware of them too. And instead of maybe getting on the train of thought and moving into someplace else, imagine the thoughts as just like this clouds in the sky. Let them go, let them come and let them go, but feel yourself as the sky itself, in which everything arises, lingers there, and then disappears. Having that kind of a wider sense of awareness as we stay in silence for a few minutes. Very slowly start to feel the breath in your nostrils. Gradually allow it to be deeper as you take the air down towards the belly. Feel the movement of the air again going all the way down to the bottoms of your lungs and feeling the belly expanding. Inviting the breath, meeting it again. And then very slowly now start to invite some movement into your hands, wiggling the fingers, toes. Breathing in, big, nice. Maybe circling the wrists and ankles if you like. And if it feels right, you can take the arms up overhead. Feel yourself really long, elongated. And as you slowly exhale, make a circle with the arms. Bring them behind the legs, maybe grabbing the back of the thighs and drawing the knees towards your chest. And give yourself a nice hug. You really embrace yourself with all your parts. The ones that you love, the ones that you don't like so much, but still take them all in. Accept yourself as your wholeness. Rock side to side for a few moments. And slowly turn towards your right side. Stay in fetal position if you like, maybe making a cushion with your arm. And as you're just staying there, find at least one thing that you are grateful for today. It doesn't have to be big, but just like having the capacity to do this practice in itself is the biggest gift that we have, actually. And any other things that may come into your mind, just take a moment to bring that, and then let a few moments, let this to be kind of spread from just the head, something that you have as a thought, to spread through the body as a physical sensation. Notice your heart maybe starting to get just like tingly. Oh, that feels good, kind of a awareness, this sense of appreciation. And gradually, when you are ready, press your hand down, maybe straighten your leg to lift yourself up again, to find a seated position. Finding again a way to sit upright, maybe sitting on a block or sitting on something, but have a sense of spine with ease, can be staying just like uprighted. And in this position, just be aware now the posture has changed. You're sitting from lying down. And be aware of the breath again. You don't need to do anything, but just be aware of this moment, this breath, this experience, post yoga. However it feels. Just to seal the practice, to finish it, maybe bowing, bringing the hands, the palms to touch in front of the heart. Inhaling here, and as you exhale, bringing chin to the chest, to bow to the light within. Namaste. Jai Bhagwan. Thank you very much for the practice together, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and week and months to come.